Okay, cool. All right. I've really been wanting to do content like this for a while. Now is the time. Finally, I can do this. Hey guys. Nah, do that again. Cut. Hey guys, you know me as Chev. My name is Tinashe. And I've been wanting to do content like this for a while. I'm super excited. This content's going to be very real because, as you know, I started being real, a platform where you can just be yourself, be true to who you are, and encourage and motivate other people around you to reach self fulfillment and self improvement and self development. And that's the point of this channel. That's the point of the goal I'm trying to do. I'm not going to do any fancy edits, all of that type of stuff. I'm just going to be raw and real. I'm just going to be raw, real, and honest with y'all. And today, I just want to share 5 things that changed my life. And I think this is very important to young men and women. And I'm just going to be making this very relatable and sharing 5 things that I believe changed my life. I'm going to be sharing 5 things. Dang, this dog is in my face. And the first thing I'm going to share is seeking Christ. I think looking back at my life, God has always been faithful. Times where I was losing, times when I was down, even the times I just doubted myself, Christ never doubted me or left me forsaken. He was always with me. And how this changed my life is that growing up, right, I always wondered, where am I going to go in life? What am I going to do? And I'm sure a lot of y'all, still wonder where you're going to go. I do that all the time. I'm not going to lie. I'll just be wondering, what's next for me? What am I going to do? What type of person am I going to become? And I think of my favorite verse, Matthew 6:33, which is my favorite verse in the world. Seek ye first the kingdom of Christ and his righteousness, and all things shall be added. That verse really touches me, I'm not gonna lie, because, you know, a lot of times we have doubt, we have worry, and we question, and that's very normal. But if there's something I've always come to realize, that seeking Christ is the way, because all things will be added. So hey, if you haven't read the verse, check out Matthew 6:33. It's an amazing verse. And it just talks about how when you fully submit and seek Christ, right? Like when you fully submit and you seek Christ, everything just comes together so perfectly. Like it's hard to even explain to someone like how, hey, just don't worry. Just don't worry. Let God do what he's doing and submit to him and seek him. And everything will magically work. And it's so hard to explain to someone. It's something I struggle to understand myself. But when you experience that, it's like you understand how faithful and how we have such a loving God that is so very faithful to us. So it changed my life, honestly. I began to find what I was passionate about, what I wanted to do, and the type of man I wanted to become. But that only happened when I decided to let go, deny myself, and just see Christ and tell God that, hey, do your thing, do what you gotta do. And it was only until then when I realized that I don't have to worry, I don't have to stress, I don't have to think about what am I gonna do, this and that and that. It's just seeking and chilling, and it all works out. Just seek Him, and it works out. Trust me. And I recommend this highly for like young men. Young men in your 20s or you're 18. I'm super happy and grateful that I learned some of these lessons earlier on in my life. And you know so many people don't have to make the same mistakes other people make. I learned from like other YouTube content creators, that went through similar experiences as mine, and that motivated me also to even make this content and make content to help other people self improve and become better versions of themselves. And it was until I realized seeking Christ is the only way. Without him, you can't do it. With him, it's everything falls into place. You have a reason, you have a why, you're grounded in something. Once you're like really grounded in something, it's like it's hard to shake you, like build your house on the rock. If you have heard that story in the Bible, where if you're on a solid foundation, nothing can knock you down. Nothing can get in the way of what you want to do and the things that you want to succeed in, because you're solid, you're grounded in Christ. You don't have to hold on to the material possessions, popularity, the money, fame, praise, all of this stuff. It's idolatry. It's really idolatry. That's all it is. But once you really are grounded in something, grounded in Christ, that's when it all comes together perfectly. So I recommend seeking Christ, and everything will be added. So that's my number one. Cool, I'm fine. Okay, I had to move because I'm around like some children and they are so loud. Like these kids are so loud. All right. Okay, number two will be health and fitness. And this really changed my life because growing up, I was really insecure about myself. I was always like very insecure about the way I looked, the way people perceive me and all that type of stuff. And I used to focus on the outward appearance a lot and put myself down based off what I look like externally. And the reason why I feel like physical fitness is very important is that it kind of grounds you because I read a verse that like is very popular. Y'all probably know it. The verse is the your body's a temple and it should glorify Christ. And you know our body's a covenant. So English. Health and fitness changed my life in the sense that I began not to worry as much about the outward appearance because I knew that I'm doing what I can to keep my health, to be healthy, to also look healthy as well, because I feel like that's also important. And walk into a room, people judge you automatically, right? And it's an innate function that us humans just have. You know, we have no control over it. You know, I can judge someone for wearing slops at a business meeting. It's just how it is, you know. So I realized that alone, health and fitness, taking care of yourself is super important because that grounds you. That gives you the confidence that you need, especially as a young man and woman or women. I can speak for young men because, you know, I'm a young man, right? That when I started taking care of my health, running, jogging, all that type of stuff, it really also helped me know. It gave me kind of sense of confidence and discipline, in the sense that when I now had that type of discipline, knowing that okay, I'm going to the gym as much as I can, 5 times a week. I'm doing my workouts. I'm ripping to my max. I'm trying to increase what I'm lifting. I have a goal. I have a set goal. Once you win in the gym, you've won in other areas of your life. So I feel like winning spiritually and physically will lead to everything else just falling in place. So that's why I think it's very important for you to go into health and fitness and just continue to take care of your body. If you're already doing that right now, that's perfect and that's great. You should continue to, you know, just take care of your body. And but basically, some people need an escape, and we have addictions, we have cravings, we have things that we need to help us escape, whatever that may be, right? And I feel like that's an escape that not just glorifies Christ when you're taking care of your body, but I also realize that it's an escape that when you are in the gym, taking care of yourself, doing what you need to do, um, that alone kind of gives you self fulfillment, self pleasure in yourself, knowing that I'm taking care of myself. I've been given this day, I've been given this opportunity. You know, every day is an opportunity, y'all. Like, seriously, when you wake up, someone could be in a hospital bed wishing they had a day, they had a healthy body, a healthy mind to do the things that we're able to do, to be privileged, to be able to have the chance to do the things we do. Like, we don't understand how blessed we are. Like, God blesses us every day, waking us up in the mornings. And it's up to us to have a goal, have a purpose, have something we're trying to reach for in order to, you know, maximize the day, maximize our life. You know, only given one life. And that really hit me. Like, I was 6 years old yesterday. It feels like that. I'm not even gonna lie. You know, it feels like I was 6 years old yesterday. And I woke up and I'm 20. I'm like, what? And in relationships, friendships, I used to have terrible discipline in relationships, you know, but that's the growth, you know, that's life. Without these type of things, you know, we're not able to grow. So, you know, you have to go through certain experiences in order to grow. So the fourth thing that I'm going to share with you that I learned, which I think is very important, is believing in yourself. You know, believe in yourself. You know, that's something I've just come to realize. It's like your mindset, the way you think, alters the algorithm of the way life works. And how I've realized that is that there's certain situations where something seems impossible. One day it's gonna come a day where your time on this earth will be done and you have to make the most of it. That is why I believe believing you can do the things you want to do, believing you can reach after your goals, believing in yourself that you are capable of doing everything that you want to achieve, the best version of yourself. You're spiritually closer to God, you're spiritually seeking Him, you're spiritually. English, oh my days. This is my first YouTube video like this, so excuse me. But you're, you're spiritually seeking Christ, spiritually taking care of your body, dressing well, being presentable, just being the absolute version of yourself that motivates people around you to reach that self fulfillment. And that what self fulfillment really means is it's not really the outward stuff. It's not really mostly all about what's on the outside, but also the inside, eh? Having a goal, having something that drives you, that gives you a sense of purpose in this life, that motivates someone else to know that you gotta work hard in order to get A, B, C, D. But with that, you got to have thanks to Christ for the opportunity to reach after A, B, C, D, E, right? And that alone gives us a grounding that no material money, no success can ever give you. That's why I believe believing in yourself is one of the most important things you can do in this life. Only you can believe in you. No one's coming to save you, but only you can step outside your comfort zone. Because I've been reading a book, The Magic of Believing You Can Do It. And I'll put you onto this book. I'll put the title in the description below. And this book really shifted my mindset. It was like, once you believe you can, your actions do things for you to be able to reach your goals. And that alone just blew my mind, honestly, because it is so true. Once the minute you have a negative thought about something, it doesn't work. This could be relationship wise, friendship wise. The way the brain works is it wants you to be right. So if you say you can't do this, the brain will prove you that you can't. If you say you can, the brain will prove to you that you can. And sometimes we don't always reach the goals we want to reach. You can't tick every single box. That's just ridiculous. I mean, it's not possible. But I truly believe self-belief. Even when no one's clapping, no one's watching, no one's believing in your vision or your dream or your goal, I truly believe. Just believe in yourself. Hype yourself up. Tell yourself that you can do it. Gotta have that confidence. You gotta have that confidence. You gotta have that self-belief that I can do this.